to the streets, we're coming out. We never sleep, never get tired. Through urban fields and suburban.
Hello and welcome. Today I'll be reviewing BattleField 3. Now before I start, I'll just say that I am terrible at first-person shooters, so I may be slightly biased. But anyway. So we start off with the gameplay. Battlefield 3 is a first-person shooter that largely relies on its multiplayer, and so it's rather competitive. Now there are many things that makes this game different to some, if not most, FPSs. Battlefield 3 has a variety of vehicles, many attachments, different classes, and something that I haven't seen in an FPS do before. You can switch fire types from single fire to burst fire to rapid fire. Now I know to most people that may not be a big deal, but it really does improve the game a lot in terms of playstyle. But with all of this, it's still pretty much a generic FPS game. Not as generic as COD of course, but I'll be honest, I'm getting bored of these FPS games. Maybe because I suck at them, maybe because there's just so many, who knows. Overall, Battlefield 3 has a lot of things that make it different and make it stand out from other FPSs, but at the end of the day, it's just another FPS that I can put on my wall of games that I fail at. Yay. Next we'll talk about aesthetics. Now Battlefield 3 is a great looking game due to its lighting effects and beautiful landscapes. Obviously a lot of work has gone into it. One of the things that the devs worked very hard on was the sound. They tested every gun in all the different sceneries you are faced with, so that they could get the most realistic sounds out of them. They did a fine job of it too. As for the destruction, it could be improved honestly. It's not exactly Red Faction. The animations are pretty solid, they got facial animations down and movement is varied between characters. Overall, a good looking game with great sound, but the destruction just isn't up to the standard I was expecting. Now let's talk about the plot. The story mode is very short, and while I was playing this I couldn't help but get a bit of deja vu from playing Black Ops. They were quite similar to be honest. You're being interrogated about bad things that have happened and then you break out and kill the person you're supposed to kill. The only difference is that in Battlefield 3 they're not torturing you, and it doesn't turn out you're batshit crazy. So that's nice. The plot is pretty solid. Some guy betrays these other guys to get nukes and he'll use them unless you stop his ass. That's basically it, or at least that's what I got from it. Overall, I wasn't all that impressed with the story mode. May have been because I died over 9,000 times. Might have been for some other reason. Who knows. To conclude, if you're looking for a good FPS that holds to realism and authentication, then sure, I guess you could go for this. If you like vehicles, then yeah, this is probably good for you. If you're good at COD, then you may be alright at this. You just need to have the right mindset and you're good to go, I guess. I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. It's good and it's different, it's just a concept I'm tired of. I wouldn't get these games if it wasn't for my friends playing them, to be honest. Well, that's that done. If you disagree with anything said during this review, then please feel free to leave a comment and I'll try to answer as many as possible. I'll most likely be answering through the name Gamers Forever. Remember that. Next week I'll be reviewing Batman Arkham City. Until then, goodbye.